little difficult. So I've planned a second day of this. That was even before I checked the homework. I planned a second day of this. Let's go over this again, just in case you went, I really can't do it. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to try and use slightly different words and phrases than I did yesterday to see if I can access and get some of this to work for you. Okay? Here it comes. So even if you missed yesterday's lesson, I'm re-explaining it here. Here it comes. Let's go at this again. We will review questions like the one we did last day, and then we'll do ones that look a little different. Okay? Solve each system of equations. I don't know if I used that phrase yesterday. I don't know if I called it a system of equations. That's what it is. It's two equations at once. And it says y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals negative 3x plus 11. Here's the first step. And it's the same first step in any of them that say y equals. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to just underline y equals. Because that's supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make you happy when you see y equals, both the same. So here comes my sentence to try and help on the first step. If both these y's are the same, then the right sides have to be the same too. If the left sides are the same, so the right side's going to be the same. So I can do this. If y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals negative 3x plus 11, then 2x plus 1 equals negative 3x plus 11. That's the part I'm hoping today you go, oh, okay. Well, if it's y equals both, then you just set them equal to each other. The rest of it can be difficult. That's okay. We're working on it. We've been working on it all the way through because these steps are a little bit algebraically difficult. So, which number would you like to move first? There's two things that have to move. Which one is the obvious one to you that has to move? What's that? I like it. It's not the order I did yesterday, so we'll try a new order today. That negative 3x is on the wrong side of the equation. I want x's on the left side. And when I bring it over here, it's subtract 3x over there. Like it's going to be positive 3x. It's always a double step. That bothers people, that you got to do two steps in a row. I brought it over, but now I got to combine things. 2x and 3x, those can go together. I can simplify my life a little bit here. What's 2 oranges plus 3 oranges? 5 oranges. It's the same with x's. X's work the same way as that. 2x plus 3x is 5x. And if you memorize the steps yesterday, you're like, ooh, you're doing that a little differently today. Yeah, that's okay. Because that's me teaching, going, okay, well, let's go at it another way so we can have another chance of understanding this. Something else has to move. Yeah, numbers got to go to the right side. Maybe that's starting to click now after all this discussion. X's over on the left side. Numbers go over to the right side. So this 1 gets moved over. And again, after moving it over, there's always this extra step. That's why algebra gets long like this, is because you move it over and then you got to fix things up. It's not too bad this time, no? 11 minus 1? 10. Final step. What's the opposite of multiply by 5? Divide by 5. So I move it over and I get 10 divided by 5. Is it too low? Am I running out of space here in the bottom? I wanted it all in one column there. Maybe I can scroll down a little bit. Can I? Yeah, I can scroll down. X, what is 10 divided by 5? 2. Does it have to be whole numbers all the time? No. No. These can get decimals or fractions. But a lot of times, in grade 10, we go, let's make ones that work out nice. Yeah? But that is not all. No, that is not all, said the cat in the hat as he jumped on his ball. Did your parents read you the Cat in the Hat when you were a kid? The show? No, the book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the show.
Yeah, and the show. I've got the x. What's the other thing I need to get? The y. How do you get the y now that I have the x? For most people, this is the easy part. If I get that far, okay, I can do that. What do you do with the 2 to get the y value? Joseph?
Y equals 2x plus 1.
Just go back here and let me draw an arrow for those of you having trouble with this. Draw the arrow if you're having trouble with the ideas. Quiet, please. There's the arrow representing what's about to happen. I'll write down what's about to happen. Sorry, I'm still not sure about that. My watch wants to be involved. Settle down. It's okay. Sub x equals 2 into y equals 2x plus 1. You know what? Some people don't even write that down. I write it down because I'm teaching you. But you don't have to write that down. You can go ahead and just start subbing in. You go, okay, y equals 2 times 2 plus 1. And what's 2 times 2? 4. And what's 4 plus 1? 5. So before you decide it's way too hard for you, I'm sorry. I've spent a month with you, a month and a half with you now. There's nobody here who can't do this. Sorry. Don't hide behind any more behind I can't do it. And I'll help you. I'll always help you. Unless I'm napping. I'll take it if you write it like that. If you just write it like that, I'll take it. What you really are supposed to write, answer 2, 5. That's what you're supposed to write there. Okay? Oh, you're doing the next one? Yeah. Okay. I'm only going to do one more. I'm extending this lesson out into 3 days. I'm going to do A and B, and I'm only going to give homework questions on the new sheet like A and B. Then I'm going to come back on Monday. I'm going to check again. And I'm going to go to my email list and go, okay, I'm going to try and get help from Mommy and Daddy here. If you can. B. B, 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 B. A little more work. A little tougher. B. But I'm not going to charge you for it. It'll be a freebie. It's weak. It's weak. It's weak, I know, but it's all I got in math class. Oh, did you need more time there? Sorry, I don't want to rush it. The first question of homework I do, they'll all be like this one. Maybe they'll have negatives in it. The steps will be the same. You'll have to fight with the negatives. I know negatives are tough. I get it. B, last example of the day. Leaving my screen for some reason. Get over here. There it is. These aren't both y equals. But they might be x equals. So here's big news. It doesn't have to be y equals. It can be x equals. I like an arrow here. I'm just going to play with these two equations just a little tiny bit. That's how this example is a little different. You got a little work to do before you get ready. Make them into x equals. Can anyone tell me what has to move in the first equation? And I'm giving you a hint there by writing, I want x equals. What has to move over the equal sign if this is just going to be, the y has to move over. And it's add y here. So what is it when it goes over there? Negative or subtract y. So I'm going to write it second. It doesn't actually matter. I could have wrote negative y plus 6, but I wrote 6 minus y. That's just the way I saw it. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. X equals is what I'm after. What has to move across the equal sign if I want just x over there? Then the y. But it's subtract y, so when it moves over, what happens to it? Positive y. And you can write it anywhere you want, but I decided to write it over there. You could have wrote y minus 3. That wouldn't be wrong. Now it's just like the last question. So let's go through those steps again. If x equals 6 minus y and x equals negative 3 plus y, let me underline them. This might help you. X equals this and x equals that. Can anyone take a shot?
Please excuse this interruption. Anderson, Whitehead, please report to the gym. Anderson, Whitehead, please report to the gym. Thank you.
She's really good at that announcement thing, eh? She should work at a hospital. Dr. Todd, please report to surgery. I'd hear. Who's got this? Oh, we had time to think about it. If x is 6 minus y and x is negative 3 plus y, what's the next line? Smart, I can't tell whether you know. Or, Yeah. No, I think you just said it wrong. This one, just say it. 6 minus y. Okay, come on, folks. That's not that bad. After seeing it a bunch of times, that's not that bad. If I can get them to say x equals, that's hard. I won't lie. That gets hard. The next two examples, which I'm not going to do today, get a little difficult to get them to x equals y equals. But this one's not bad. Just move a couple of things over if you have to, okay? Now, these steps hopefully are going to start getting repetitive. Are they difficult? Maybe. But they're repetitive. What are we going to move over? The 6. Move the 6 over. I moved the 6 over. Oh, I forgot to change its sign. Look at that. I got distracted for a second. It becomes minus 6. And negative 3 minus 6, I know negatives aren't everybody's deal. But if it's negative 3 degrees out, and it goes down 6 degrees, now what temperature is it? Negative 9. But if you're like, that's the problem I have though, Mr. Todd. The negatives kill me every time. Well, who's your friend then? Your phone or your calculator will do negatives. You can just type it in. Okay, I want letters on the left. I want numbers on the right. What has to move if I want this to happen? The positive y has to come over. Negative 2y equals negative 9. Negative 9 over negative 2. 4.5. I'm going to live with decimals. I'm going to live with decimals if you go to decimals on these, okay? Now you go all the way up to the top and take this y. Now let's be clever here. Just going to show you a little cleverness here. You can put the 4.5 here. You can put the 4.5 there. You can put the 4.5 here. You can put the 4.5 there. It doesn't matter which one you use. You'll get the same answer every time. Which one looks the easiest of those 4 choices up there? There's one that I think is by far the easiest. I think so. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and use any one, but I think, here comes my arrow. For those of you having trouble with this, here comes the arrow of what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put it right in there. My arrow disappeared there at the top a little bit. Sub x equals 4, no, y equals 4.5. And you don't have to write this step. You don't have to write it. I write it because I'm teaching. Sub y equals 4.5 into x minus 6y. No, that's not what it says at all. I don't know why I wrote that. X equals 6 minus y. That's the equation I'm going to sub into. So I'm going to go x equals 6 minus 4.5. X equals 1.5. I'm going to stop the video there. Part 2, keep that sheet, because I'm going to do C and D on Monday.